What's up, all you cool listeners out there? Just before we get started today, I just want to remind everybody that we are available on Anchor now. The link to Anchor will be left in the description of the video. And to explain what Anchor is, pretty much that's a platform to where we're able to get on Spotify and Apple and everything else. And you can also pay or give contributions to help us achieve our goals, like to make new merch, buy new equipment for us. Anything that we can, any contribution can help us achieve what we want to achieve with this show. So just keep that in mind. We're also on all the other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Probably Political. So just keep that in mind. Now to the show. What's up, boys, girls, flying squirrels, friends, cousins, and neighbors? We are back for another episode of Simple Man Talks. And yes, of course, it is another Wednesday in this amazing world that we live in. And just a forewarning, today's show is going to contain a lot of material that's probably will trigger you if you're very sensitive and have an own opinion and not open to listening to other people talk. So if you don't want to listen to that, I suggest that you just go listen to some of our other great content and still support the show. And if you don't want to listen to today's episode, you might want to catch next week's episode. But without further ado, hope everybody's doing great out there with everything going on in the world right now. Today, we're going to cover a lot of what's going on in the media right now, like Drew Brees, all the Black Lives Matters, and so forth, defunding the police. We're going to cover that briefly, not go too into depth, but pretty much explain what's what and what's going on. But given all the hot weather that's been going on in Texas lately, and all my fellow Texans know that it's been pretty stout out there, today was actually a pretty cool day outside. And I think for a lot of us, that was a blessing at its most. Thank you, Jesus! But nevertheless, we're going to hop right into today's topic. So what we're going to cover first is a little bit of why you shouldn't feel bad about voicing your opinion on social media about what's going on in the world right now with the whole Black Lives Matter deal, what you think is right and what you feel is appropriate. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying go out on social media and just shoot down everybody that has an opinion, whether they're pro what's going on right now with the protest and how they want to protest, or if you're against it, or if you see both sides and you have your own joint opinion of it. There's a right and wrong way of going about voicing your opinion on social media. Now, with that being said, you should not be shot down for having an opinion. You should be able to voice what you feel is right and how you feel about it. For instance, Drew Brees came out and voiced his opinion on what he felt the flag meant to him in regards to everybody kneeling down to the flag and protest of police brutality. Now, a lot of people that pay attention to a lot of mainstream media think that the kneeling down has to do with more than just police brutality and Black Lives Matter. And in a sense it does, but the whole kneeling down was meant because of police brutality. Now, and I get why they're doing it, because that's a way to catch a national eye. But, and I can sit there and ask the question, what does the flag mean to you? Me personally, it has nothing to do with police brutality. What the flag represents is the freedom. It represents freedom. It represents the land where you can do what you want. Not entirely what you want, but within a reason. You can do everything that is happening in America right now. If it happened anywhere else, there would be a lot worse consequences just due to their government. For instance, a lot of mainstream media people or celebrities even come out and say the land of the free doesn't exist. Well, it kind of does, because you just said that the land of the free doesn't exist and didn't get punished for it, nor are you paying any repercussions for it. You have the ability. People are out vandalizing. People are out protesting. You don't have the right to go vandalize, but you do have the right to go protest. So therefore, you are in a place to where you do have the freedom to go protest, if you please, peacefully. Now, Drew Brees came under attack after releasing his tweet about how he felt about the flag. Various athletes and celebrities fired back at him with negative responses, pretty much saying that he didn't get the message of why people were kneeling for the flag. And in that sense, Drew Brees just voiced his opinion how he felt and what he felt the flag meant to him. He didn't come out and say, he thought that everything was stupid. He didn't say anything derogative to make people fire back at him. He simply voiced his opinion on how he felt. And honestly, he even called for equality. He didn't agree. He doesn't agree with police brutality. He simply called for all people to come together and voice his own opinion about the flag. And he should not have had to come back out and apologize for what he said simply for voicing his opinion, as everybody else and every other professional athlete that has done so has done it and not had to come out and apologize for what they said. So, coming off of that, what we're going to be talking about next is defunding the police, and we're going to finish up this topic a little bit. But like I said, we're going to break it up in a couple segments today just to spread everything out. And so I'm not berating you with a whole lot of material at one time, so to say. So with that being said, stick around, have some get a little bit of good vibes during the break, and we'll be back with so much more coming up right after this.
I was going to go to the strip club, but I'm not going to go because Jesus is here.
Hey guys, are your joints built like nubs? Or are men attracted to your joints because they also look like nubs? Or is your name possibly Kaela Thompson? Well, if that's the case, maybe you should tune into Kicking It Back with Kaela or the Katie and Kaela Show. Two shows that are very good, informational, and entertaining shows at the least that are fueled by probablypolitical.com as well. I also will be appearing on the Katie and Kaela Show in place of Miss Katie because she is on vacation this week. So, you should definitely swing by and check out those two shows and all of our other great content. Now, back to Simple Man Talks. What's up, boys, girls, flying squirrels, friends, cousins, and neighbors? We're back for the second and final segment of the show today. So what we're going to be talking about is still a little bit what went on in the first segment and a little bit about the whole police ordeal and what's going on with that. So just to wrap up on the first segment, we were talking about how you shouldn't be afraid to voice your opinion on social media about everything that's going on. Doesn't matter what color you are, what sex you are, anything. You have the right to voice your opinion in any way, shape, or form that you feel is necessary. Not in a bad way, but the way that you feel that it should be expressed. You should have that opinion, and you should not be chastised for having that opinion. That being said, lately in the news, there is talks about defunding the police department, and I don't agree with this just for the fact that if you simply defund the police department. Now, I understand that the police, legally, by law, there is no law saying that the police have to protect us. But the police uphold laws, and these laws were put in place to protect us. So, therefore, the police are protecting us by upholding the laws that are meant to protect us. I do feel and believe that by not defunding the department entirely to wipe out, the main source of officers, but what the defunding is meant to be is to redirect some of the funds to give the department some resources for certain situations, like to bring in therapists or any other sort of certain special person to to assess and gain control of a situation at the least, and even redirect funds towards certain resources and tools, like better vehicles or more efficient weapons, whatever the case may be. Now, defunding the police department is not saying that they are trying to take out the police department itself. It is simply saying that they are going to look into putting funds elsewhere to try and make the police a better department for whatever area. I, for one, do think that if the refunding did happen to go towards, like I said, bringing in special officers or special resource people to deal with certain situations. I think that would work to an advantage because, police officers aren't trained to deal with every type of human being that is known to be out there. That how in the heat of the moment, how are they supposed to tell? If somebody that has a certain case of whatever is having an episode, how are they supposed to, define that in the heat of the moment? That should also be a detail that should be told in the call. The initial 911 call, like, hey, this is what's going on. It appears that the person has such and such. Just thought you should know, kind of deal. But we'll see how everything works out, honestly. Just like how we'll see how everything works out with Hillary Clinton in court. Also, for those of you that didn't know that, her appeal got rejected and she is on trial right now. So that's something else you should keep in watch for in the news if you're trying to get away from all the Black Lives Matter and protests and all that other good stuff. But that's probably about it for me today. I know I said I was going to talk about a lot more, but you can catch the rest of this topic and a little bit more of what I was going to talk about on the Katie and Kaela show, where I will be replacing Miss Katie because, like I said in the break, she is on vacation. Also, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Probably Political. We are on Twitter at Prob Political. And once again, we are on Anchor at Probably Political. Donate what you can to help us achieve some merch, buy new equipment, do whatever. Just whatever you can give helps. So, without that being said, I will see y'all next Wednesday. I am out, guys. Thank you.